All right, folks. Raszageth. All right. We're going to go through some of the differences in how we're going to handle a lot of this stuff that's not specifically mentioned in the video. Phase 1, static charge placement. There's going to be a weak aura. If you get a green marker over your head, you place the static charge, the puddle of the green marker, moon goes to moon. For skull, for center, I want you to use throughout this fight, guys, we need to use the different markings on the platform as your positioning orientation, essentially. So if you get skull, don't place skull back here, don't place skull over here. Just see this big circle that goes around the platform. Place the skull static charge right here. See the little knot type thing? Just place it over there. Perfect. This thing does fall off damage. So everybody else who's not the skull marker, I want you to run through the boss and go to the other side. All right? Don't panic with this. Just run through the boss and go to the other side. If you stand right here when the skull marker is being placed, you will more than likely die to the fall off damage. Phase 1 is not a DPS check. There's no rush. Just take our time through it. You'll always face the same percent. So run through it and then back to skull. Phase 1, where can we wipe? One is you position it incorrectly. Second, there is one time when the double kicks, the sparks, they spawn and then instantly, like 3 seconds after, you get the static charge placement. So you spread for sparks, double kick your spark. Remember, stuns, paralyze, Ring of Frost works, Ring of Peace, Priest can spam purge. So any stragglers, I want you to spam purge on the stragglers and then place your static charge. That overlap with the sparks and the static charge, that you're going to use a personal mitigation cooldown. You must have a personal mitigation cooldown for the spark into static charge. All right, we have Devour up along with Hellstones. All right, that's phase 1. Phase 2, guys, on the platforms, nobody cares. Just go, just kind of go around the room, killing the ads. Death Knight style, make sure you have double grips. Hell Rider, make sure you have Gorfiend with the reduced cooldown, because you can Gorfiend 4th set and then Gorfiend 3rd set here. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Dodge breaths. All right. Okay, P2 Storm Surge. The biggest thing here, guys, how do we wipe in P2? We wipe because you fuck up movement, okay? You screw up movement, you run into somebody with the opposite charge. It's kind of like blasphemy. You cannot run into somebody with the opposite charge, okay? You can run into them once, you take a big bunch of damage and a dot. A second one, you're almost certainly going to die unless you're an OP class like Mage. But yes, so how do we actually go about doing this? We eventually get to this position where negative stack under the boss, positive stack here. Again, on this little knot thing, okay, at the bottom. And the reason we stack is it's for healing. It's really healing intensive. There's a lot of damage going out till you break the shield. Now, how do we do this? We're going to call for Storm Surge or Thaddeus positions. Thaddeus positions basically are, everybody is initially going to sort of spread around the room. I'm going to use locks for this. I'm just spread around the room. Melee kind of spread a bit here. Do a slash range 3 or something so you can see if somebody is close to you, or just look at the map. Look at the screen. Now, when the marks go out, positives, you're just going to plant your feet. Don't move a muscle. There's no rush. There's no panic. Just plant your feet. Negatives, I want you to slowly, consistently make your way to X, okay? So if you have X here and there's 2 blues in front, all right, remember, they are not going to move. So just don't run into anyone. Oh, make your way to X, all right? Go to X. Once all the X's are in place, blues, I want you to basically, I'm going to give it a solid 3 count, okay? Give it 3 to 4 seconds. After 3 to 4 seconds, move around the edge of the room, okay? Don't delay more than 3 to 4, especially if you're close to blue. If you're close to blue and you just stay here, and then the guy around you can't get you to do all of this, right? Just run around the outside of the room and make it to blue, all right? And that's how we resolve, oops, don't do that. That's how we resolve the positive negative stack. Okay, cooldown timings. As soon as we phase into P2, use a 3 minutes pump boss, it'll roll into Storm Surge. Keep pumping boss. And for the final, the 3rd shield, that's the 3 minutes we back up. The second shield is the one that's going to take the longest to break. So we're going to use major healer cooldown for that one, for the second shield. Okay, so that's Storm Surge. Don't fuck us on Storm Surge. Finally, after we do P2, because we're great gamers, after we do P2 successfully, we're going to do Intermission. Now, Intermission where most of the deaths happen because people just run around, like chickens. There's a lot of effects on the ground. You just want to focus on dodging effects, okay? The blue platform group, what that means is the group that went to the blue platform is going to hit the ruiner over here, okay? Remember, the red platform is going to hit the ruiner that spawned over here. So, blue platform, red platform. And these positions don't move. Tanks, you can't move them, okay? They just stay there and they cast their aerial buffet shit from the Thea. So, they could spawn here, and then when they break, they just switch positions and they spawn the little shitty ads, I don't know what they call stormlings. And they leave the little shitty ads right here. We're just going to CC and kill it. We don't even have to move, just CC and kill it, okay? For the breaths, there's two possible orientations. One is the breath will go through the ads. This is the harder one to deal with because you have to give a nice wide berth and come in. We're going to use stuff like Binding Shot for when that happens, okay? Don't waste Binding Shot early. That's a ranged AoE stun. Even if it's a few seconds, it's fine. Use stuff like Binding Shot, ROP for when we got to move away. Use stuff like Chaos Nova, Gorfine, stuff like that for when we're in melee, I mean, keep damaging it. So if you hear the call, middle breath, no big deal, just keep pumping boss. If you hear the call, add breath, this is where we will die and wipe, is the add breath. Don't panic, take some steps back, put a Binding Shot out, put a ROP in the middle if you can to avoid them getting too far. If a few Stormlings get here, Hunters, I absolutely need you to switch to these things and blow them up, okay? Other side group, if you see Stormlings coming towards you from the other side, just get in front of it and just CC, kick them, nuke them, dot them, kill them, okay? All right. The biggest thing here is to watch your feet. Dodge ball lightnings, dodge the thundering FX swirlies, and dodge the breath without panicking. There's ramping damage throughout this. There's a constant dot that ticks. Healers, just stay stacked and just pump your heals, okay? Just throughput is all we need. We get through this phase and the boss dies. That's it. P4, oops, sorry guys. P4, we get knocked off from this platform back to the middle platform, okay? The only way we wipe in P4 is if the magnetic grip target Pepegas and completely fucks the rate. We initially start with everybody's standing here, pumping the boss. This is when we lust again. The tanks are over here. If you get targeted by the magnetic grip, okay, it's not the static charge, guys. Static charge still goes over here, okay? It's not the magnetic grip, the static charge. Magnetic grip is a little smaller blue circle around you. All these blue fucking swirlies. You take that blue circle and you go over here. Everybody else, you move over here. Raszageth is going to turn and do a frontal at the same time. Okay? When this happens, when you position here and get gripped like this. If you are here and you get gripped like this, you die because of the frontal. Okay? One more time. Raszageth's going to turn. Let's say she turns like so. Okay? Look at her face. Use this little blue thing on the ground, okay? Look at her face. Go south. Get gripped. Again, don't panic in this phase. We just need to lift this one mechanic. All the other mechanics are the same. Take fulminating charge out here. You can use the defensive and step into the lightning, guys. It doesn't hurt that much. It's better than wiping the raid. All right? So that's Raszageth. It's a constant ramping fight. All you have to do is just, if you find yourself losing track of what's going on, it's okay to even stop pushing your buttons, take a breath, just reorient yourself, and then move on, okay? P1, no big deal. There's no panic, okay? Just static charge placement. Green, moon, and skull. P2, just do ads, dodge breath. P3, that's P1 intermission. P2, P2, do the Thaddeus. This is the big one. This is the one that's going to take a few reps, but let's make it take the least amount of reps, okay? Least amount of reps. I know it'll take reps, that's okay. Just learn. Just let's make it take the least amount of reps. Intermission, lots going on. Just don't panic. Avoid any avoidable damage on this phase. All right. And finally, don't kill us with the magnetic grip. We get a cool AOTC. More importantly, we get freaking Raszageth helm tiers and hopefully a couple of trinkets. GG's, boys and girls.